Who has been a more supporter, whether a male counterpart or a female counterpart?
I worked more with the leaders, especially male leaders, and they gave me the full support.
Where women were less supported?
That biasness was there, especially when women enter in the room immediately. They look at it, oh, she's here.
Being nice, has it backfired as well?
Yeah, people misuse. Being nice is not the right thing to do always. In Sam, Dam, Dandabhed, I use all the 4 tactics.
I mean, taking leave is a very casual of an approach.
The thing is that at our level, I must have signed around more than 500 checks.
Wow.
Otherwise, everything is getting stuck for them.
Have you ever chosen career over family? History has always had women who didn't just participate, they shaped the moment. Draupadi had the courage to question entire royal court. Durga led the battle when even the gods stepped back. Rani Lakshmibai rode into war to defend her kingdom. And recently, Harmanpreet Kaur lifted the World Cup for the first time in the history of Indian cricket. These are the ones who have made it to the history, but I'm certain that we had many similar characters in our own life who have transformed our lives. The day when my team came up with this idea of shooting a podcast on the occasion of Women's Day, and they were trying to sell this idea to me, they spoke about the importance of women in today's professional world. I was already in my flashback journey of how the females in my life have been the transforming factor, be it my mother, my grandmother, my sister, my wife, and now my daughter. And how can I forget my teacher, whom I admire the most and give equal credit of my success to her? Not that the males have not done educate, but the list of females is a little longer. And this gratitude is more so because I personally feel भगवान ने females को males के comparison में already X plus Y challenges के साथ भेजा है. And still, you will rarely find a female complaining about work-life balance, not as publicly as men do. And yet, females have become the undisputed leaders in all possible streams and sectors of the society. When we talk about leadership, we often talk about titles, provost, vice chancellor, director, but behind every title, there's a person, a 22-year-old who once had doubts, fears, ambitions, and a journey nobody saw. Today's conversation is not about celebrating women in leadership, it's about understanding what leadership really looks like when the leader happens to be a woman. This episode is titled Not Just Women Leaders, Leaders. And today we are going to talk about the stories behind the titles. Our first guest today is someone who has shaped academic leadership across institutions for more than 2 decades. From being a professor to leading institutions as director, dean, and later vice chancellor, she has been at the helm of some of the most important academic transformations in the country. Currently, the provost at MIT ADT University and formerly the vice chancellor of DY Patil University, Pune, I welcome Dr. Sayalee Gankar ma'am to the podcast.
Thank you.
Welcome, ma'am. Our second guest represents a very different but equally powerful leadership journey, one that blends corporate governance, strategy, law, and education. From leading legal and corporate affairs in major organizations to directing large educational campuses and managing teams of hundreds, her leadership has always been about execution, scale, and impact. Currently, the director for Center for Online and Distance Education at Ajeenkya Patil University, I welcome Dr. Kamaljeet Kaur, ma'am.
Thank you.
Welcome, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for both being here. So we are not going to discuss policies and processes today. We will talk a little behind the titles, how the things have been for you. So my first segment is actually named as Behind the Titles. So if I may start with you, Sayalee ma'am, the first question that comes to my mind is, before you became, let's say, the provost or the vice chancellor, who were you at the age of 22?
Oh, that's very nice. I think you're taking me to the lanes of memories, especially. I think at the age of 22, you're just coming out of the campus and especially the education. You have a degree in your hand, and now you feel that how are you going to conquer the world, right? And at the same time, because the confidence is there that you
True.
have the education, you are prepared for that. Your teachers, your parents, and of course the siblings which are there at home, they give you that support that yes, you can do something good because you have the experience, or maybe
Absolutely.
maybe some kind of evidences in your school or college education. So I think that helps you a lot to enter into the professional world, because you don't know. And if you talk about my days, I think in those days, women were not that the empowered to take up the role in new areas. It was
Mhm.
typically talking about teachers, professors, bankers,
Mhm.
right? Or maybe we can say doctors or engineers in few cases.
Yeah.
When the engineering was also, Sudhamurthy came, and then things started moving
True.
on. But that too into these A class cities, right? So, but then I think at the age of 22, as I've said, that it was completely uncertain because the job was more important.
Mhm.
The first job was going to play an important role in your life to shape your career. No one knows about it, what it is,
Yeah.
and what do you mean by career. We were so innocent, we were so simple, and very few idols were there in front of you, either the scientist or the names which you have taken it from the Indian epics, right? That which we always worship them or which we look up to. And the of course at family you have two example. One is your teacher, your mother and father. So you,
Yeah.
my mother was a teacher
Oh.
and my father was an engineer. And of course teaching is always a preferred kind of profession where you really enjoy the most. But then during that phase, I still remember I prepared for three examinations, and one of them was a banking examination,
Mhm.
and I cleared it.
Oh,
So
wonderful.
it was like going and joining as a probationary officer as a banker. And one more exam which I gave it was for the government positions,
Okay.
right? And one was for the police. So these three were there, and of course the one which I picked up was altogether different because it came for entrepreneurship activities.
Mhm.
So my father said that why don't you do this? And three jobs were there in my hand.
Mhm.
So that time, so that the ample amount of opportunities in front of me. But this was something different because I was being picked up out of 200 girls as
Hmm.
of the only one girl or a employee to work in entrepreneurship field. And I think that gave me a different perspective, approach, confidence, built the courage, to work in a area where uncertainty is very high, and at the same time you're going to do something different than
Absolutely.
the regular kind of jobs which I was supposed to take. But I think, and that's how my career got turned up, and then I became the trainer for entrepreneurship, and that was the fun for me, and that's how my journey began.
It's beautiful, ma'am. Already, I've got a few questions based on the response that you've just given, and I'm sure many of your students will listen it for the first time. That you got a job in bank, you got a job probably in the other sectors that you mentioned, and still you chose something which is getting into academics. With due regard to this job role, but I know that in today's world, people who do not get into something, they try and experiment their profession with academics.
Correct.
That's how people go. But
No,
yours case was absolutely
yes,
different.
mine was totally different. I said, let me do something different than what others are doing. And that's how I became the women entrepreneurs trainer motivator,
Wonderful.
and which was been trained by EDI Ahmedabad in those days in 1989. IM was also there,
Yeah.
Ahmedabad. And that's how I got into the profession. And then later I joined academics.
Oh,
Yeah,
great,
yeah.
great. Ma'am, if I may understand the same thing from you, so that we are all on the same page in terms of what the background has been, and then I have some counter questions, of course, to ask.
Fine. So at the age of 22, I had cleared my company secretary examination. It's a profession where the passing percentages are really low. And my sister, she was trying her hands with chartered accountancy,
Hmm.
and uh, she was not able to clear it. So at our uh, home, already it was no, no, don't go for these kind of courses. They are too tough. and I was bent upon in trying it, and I could clear all my attempts in the first go.
Wow.
I am also a topper for accountancy,
Oh,
uh,
wonderful.
frankly speaking, but I had learnt it in a very different way. Debits were all left hand side, credits were all right hand side. But later on, when I actually started working on accountancy, I used to laugh at me that the way I cleared that exam, in fact, merit holder as far as CS accountancy course is concerned, is that sometimes you do it and later on you understand that it was not the right way of doing it, though the world thinks you are an expert in that. So I started with my company secretary journey, and I was 21 that time. And at the age of 22, when I tried for my job, I was rejected.
Okay.
So I felt very much disheartened, and I thought of writing an email to of course, my interviewer was a lady, so I said that I just want to understand what went wrong. And she was kind enough to give me that time. And when we had that conversation, she said that, look, we don't want a lady or girl for this particular job because you people get married, then you will have kids, and those kind of excuses. So I said, ma'am, you are also a lady and you are at the helm of affairs. If you are able to manage it, then why do you think that other women will not be able to manage it?
True.
She smiled, and that day evening, I got my offer letter.
Oh, wonderful.
Though it was at the cost of my friend losing his job who had got that offer. So, in fact, he scolded me.
Hmm.
He said, "You girls are like this only. Uh, you know, you might have agreed for a lower pay scale or something. That's why you got it." I said, "No, in fact, I don't know what they offered you, but this is my offer letter. They had given me a better offer than he had got it." So sometimes you just have to question people to get the opportunity of equality, I would say. So at the end of my 22nd year career, I would say that somewhere I feel that you have to question what people are doing to you.
True.
So
That's very interesting. In fact, I don't think at 21 and 22 I had any clarity in terms of the path. Of course, there were few aspirations in mind, but those aspirations are always there. But you do not have a clarity of thought. Maybe having three job opportunities or kind of career paths, vis-a-vis writing a letter to someone who was actually the hiring person. But great. So that opens up the conversation, because the whole agenda or the talk today that we are going to have is also going to revolve around how women have some bit of challenge in terms of the gender equality or whatever they face in the professional world. So we are going to reach to that, but before that, a quick follow-up question on the one that we just had. If your 22-year-old version would be watching you today, do you think that would be surprising enough for a 22-year of your old self, what you have achieved in today's world? If your 22-year whatever experience you had at that point in time, or whatever exposure you had, if you look at whatever you have achieved in all of these years, will you be surprised on the achievements that you have got?
I would not say surprised, but yes, definitely amused, or I would say uh, I am far more matured now. I
Mhm.
was a very immature person that time. Means like writing this letter. I wouldn't do it now. If somebody doesn't select me, I would better be at peace with it. But that was a time when I used to question almost everything. So I would say that the 22-year-old would be happy to see that, okay, Kamaljeet, you have calmed down a bit.
But that's a nature as a 22-year. You have to be a rebellion. You can't be satisfied with whatever is coming your way.
But if given at my family dynamics, they were quite scared of the kind of girl I was, especially my mom. She used to feel that that is not how girls should behave.
Mhm.
So I feel that now she's quite happy with that, okay, I have come down. She recently was staying with me almost for 2 3 months, and she was saying, you don't react at all, means looking at how I handle my kids and all that. Because the Kamaljeet she had been with was always questioning, always demanding. So that change has happened over a
Ma'am, in
course of
your
time.
case?
Yeah, I think a very nice question actually. At that age when you are there, I think it was more into your own aspiration, your own growth, your own career.
Yeah,
You want to prove yourself, you know. So you're more into proving yourself.
true.
And when I look at, if I am now, if I'm 22nd and looking at Sayalee Gankar, then I think it comes more of with the responsibility and service. You know, so leadership is not only power,
Absolutely.
right? So you have to prove yourself. And how can you take people along with you?
Yeah.
How can you look at the student, customers, or maybe when you're dealing with the various stakeholders, you know,
Mhm.
maybe government organization, accreditation agencies reporting to chancellors, or maybe working with vice chancellors. I think the perspectives has changed, you know.
True.
The as she has rightly asked the question that time, and she will not do it. It means that the things, because of the experience, you realize that you are now a leader, and it's not like only fighting for the, or being aggressive is the leadership. It is more about responsibility. It is more about taking care of people, giving service to the society. I think your perspective gets changed.
Mhm.
And amusement, I think I'm sure that there are many success stories, you know, and I feel that there was a lot of scope where I would have performed much, much better,
Oh, is it?
you know, that I would have acquired the competencies, I would have learned few more things, you know. So I can see that there was lots of scope if I want to be with my old identified models, right? Because that time we were worshipping Indira Gandhi, or if you look at it, like I was always very happy to read about Ahilyabai Holkar,
Mhm.
right? So it was because these were the examples, as you rightly said, Draupadi, or
The Durga and
the
the
Durga and
Harmanpreet. Yeah.
Jhansi Ki Rani. I think because when we look at it, it talks about power,
Yeah.
right? Because everyone, oh, they're very powerful,
Hmm.
but power power comes along with the responsibility and
Absolutely.
empathy
Yeah.
or compassion. I think that is required to be understood by us. And as I've said, that lots of skills, lot of things were supposed to be developed, which would have helped me to much go to the next level again. You know, so still I have the aspirations to go, because the reason is lots of opportunities today. The
Yeah.
kids have so many opportunities,
True.
but if you really want to explore them, one has to really sharpen their skill, hone their skills, change their habits, you know. And that process, because we come from the hard work, we never
True.
talked about smart work. Today also my generation talks about hard work. We don't talk about smart work.
Yeah.
We say that the hard work helps you to reach, and then patience, consistency, those are our the mantras for the success, you know. So I think that helped us a lot to reach to this. But of course, so many things required to be done,
True.
maybe doing it more proficiently, the today's generation what they are doing it, and they are able to do that. Yeah.
No, actually, I think these aspirations that are still alive with both of you, even after achieving what you have achieved, and you are a role model for the institutions around and for the people who have been aiming to gain what you have gained. Uh, this is what is keeping us ahead of the times.
Yeah.
While we talk about smart work and things can be taken up a shortcut way, but of course, these base models will still remain the same. So yeah, happy to know that this is what my ancestors or maybe my parents were also talking about these similar words, and I can easily correlate to, yeah, this is where they have done it.
Thank
All right, so ma'am, have you ever felt, and this question goes to both of you, but maybe I would love to know in your own lives, have you ever felt that while you have been a woman, leadership has been a more of a challenge as compared to maybe for your male counterparts?
I think when we work in today's organization, or maybe 35 years back, we need to understand that there are the professional spaces, And when you are working with the teams, that biasness was there in the process, especially when women enter in the room immediately. They look at it, oh, she's here,
Yeah.
right? But I think one has to prove with the consistency that the efforts are required to be done. I think that will help us, and especially it comes when you really work hard
Mm-hmm.
and when you have the clarity. If you have a clarity and ready to take the responsibilities and working hard for that, then the things are more sorted. We can say that, and people accept you, they respect you, uh, and that's what my experience goes. Because yeah,
But you still feel that there are challenges
in those
at
times,
the
but then still, if I'm coming here, it means that that ecosystem was evolving in those times, right? And today, if I think I still remember someone told me that you're the first women um, in Pune who has become the vice chancellor.
Oh,
And
congratulations on that,
no,
ma'am.
no,
In
no.
that case,
So that comment was there. So I took it in a very different way. I said, oh, so it means that there were so many opportunities, and then those were not
given to
they
the
given to the others.
women.
When they are capable enough to do that, because generally owners are becoming the hands of affair is a very easy thing.
True.
But when someone is taking efforts and reaching to that level and it's been recognized, and the bosses giving that kind of opportunities, we are always thankful to them. And that's why I always say that my honorable chancellor, Dr. Vijay Patil, he gave me opportunity to work as a vice chancellor. Or in that case, if you look at my journey at MIT campus of 25 years, they allowed me to grow, right? So I know why. The reason is they have seen that she's working hard, and I'm sure, and that's why they gave me the opportunity. So your history, the past experiences make you more the competent enough to work shoulder to shoulder with the men, right? And that time, of course, it was very difficult, and that too in a very different the job role, because if I would have been in a banker, I would have been retired as a general manager or a kind of a top banker, right? But today, if you look at it, it is a little a very respectable position where you feel that you're doing something good and to the masses. But then that's what I'm saying, that the mains or the bosses which were there with us, they really took care of us, and I'm really proud of that, especially at MIT, Dr. Vishwanath Karad sir, and then of course Dr. Mangesh Karad, who is the pro chancellor now, and as I've said, Dr. Vijay Patil, the honorable chancellor of DY Patil University. I think that's what the I think they're also very nice people, and they accepted that these females are working very hard.
I'm
So,
sure, ma'am. With
yeah.
the kind of efforts that you have put in,
Yeah.
while it could be the case that you are the first one probably in the city, but I'm sure with that it opens door for many others.
Yes.
And people
Yes,
will
yes.
find it relatively easier to reach to that position.
No,
If
no,
not,
it's not that easy to reach to that
Yes.
I'm saying
position.
relatively, yeah.
But then the support, the efforts, the consistency, understanding the strategic
Yeah.
leadership process, which I was talking about, taking responsibility, building the teams, institution development, those things are very, very important.
Absolutely.
And one has to prove. See, at the end of the day, it's a competency,
Yeah.
right? And therefore, I've said that competencies are required to build, and which few of those I always feel that I should work very hard on this, right? So that introspection or assessment of the one has to be on constant basis, and that's how it is learn to unlearn and
True.
unlearn to learn.
Yeah.
So, and I think the ecosystem has evolved now. Today, in my organization at ADT, Dr. Mangesh Karad and Dr. Sunita Karad, they have created an environment where almost, I think, 50% women are working. It means that the opportunities are given, and women are also taking their jobs very seriously. They want to prove. Gone are the days where they were talking about only family responsibility.
Yeah.
Now they talk about their own career, and they have understood it very well, how to really divide the role and their responsibilities and get the success. So family, career, growth, organization, teams, I think they are doing it really very well.
No, great, ma'am.
Yeah,
Good to
yeah.
hear. You have come from a different sector altogether, then got into education. I'm sure, ma'am, there would be some experiences in terms of at the leadership level as a woman. There would be some challenges for sure. I cannot believe living in a society wherein I have also been in India. There would be challenges, and if at all
See,
you wish
I
to.
feel challenges are for both the genders. It's
Okay,
not only for women.
true.
And I feel that, yes, sometimes there are some kind of situations which make used to make me ponder that why are some people like this. Like when I had gone for my maternity leave, on the 18th day, our CFO called me and he ended up saying something which was not correct on his part. He said, "You women are very lucky to get maternity leave." No, I just felt that what,
What does it mean?
yeah, what does it mean? Lucky in what sense and all that. So sometimes people end up making some statement as if, maternity leaves are vacations or some
Yeah,
enjoyment breaks. Only a lady knows what
of
she goes
course.
through. So I feel that those kind of, apart from those kind of things, since, as ma'am also rightly mentioned, it is all in your hand. If you are sincere, you are consistently proving yourself. And I always say this to everybody, that performance is not a one day job,
Of course.
it is a consistent process. And the day you stop performing, nobody wants you.
Mm.
And if you are performing, if you are going beyond the expectations of the management, then of course management wants you. So thanks to my bosses, they had been kind enough to give me that canvas to paint, because I am a person who does lot of creative work and all that. So if somebody stops me from doing that, I am one person who would say, "Oh, you do it yourself." Because even in the kitchen, if I'm doing something, I hate somebody intervening or giving me instructions and all that. Luckily, even at my home, nobody does that. And even in the office, nobody does that. The moment they do it, I say, "Okay, you do it." I will be out of that particular uh, activity or that process. So I feel that somewhere the management had been like, now I'm working with Dr. Ajeenkya Patil. Very, he had given me that canvas to paint it the way I want, and that's why I could give him the results. There is no day-to-day intervention, day-to-day. We go wrong also. But
Of
if we
course.
go wrong, we are not being put to spotlight, explain something like that. No, they understand that tour is human. So, okay, Kamaljeet, can we ensure that we don't do this next time, or we could have handled it differently? So I think that kind of understanding support is very, very important. So some people in fact say that women get better uh, treatment because they are women, and it could be true also. The way a man talks to a man could be very different than a man talking to a woman.
True.
And thanks to the women leaders also, in like our Pooja Patil madam, wife of Dr. Ajeenkya Patil, excellent lady, respectfully talking to everybody. She's a no nonsense person, but at the same time, the way she communicates is something which is very empowering, saying that yes, of course, do it if you are feeling that. And sometimes if certain things are not in place, she would say that, "Kamalji, I don't expect this when you are handling this."
Hmm.
So the communication is in a very decent manner, which empowers us and not demotivates us.
Got it.
So I wouldn't say that. And see, life is full of challenges.
Mhm.
Sometimes I feel we have more challenges with respect to household stuff than at the office,
Of
because
course.
there, when we are performing, at least people are there to respect and motivate us.
Mm. So I don't know. You both have been generous enough in talking about the environment around. But if you're saying that there are more challenges at household stuff as compared to, let's say, the office space, is it? Let me bring a sense of little controversy into the discussion now. We have been too polite and too generous towards the things happening to us. Um, if I may ask you, who has been a more supporter to both of you, whether a male counterpart or a female counterpart?
Of course, my husband.
We are talking in a professional setup, ma'am. If in a professional setup, if you have, let's say, your female colleagues versus your male people around, who has been on the more
I think
supportive side?
because I worked more with the leaders, especially male leaders, and they gave me the full support. All of them, could be a government organization or maybe the current bosses or past bosses, all of them. And when you're working at the helm of affairs, and because my job was, as I've told you, I became a trainer motivator. So training was, and that too, I was alone in my organization.
Okay.
So it was support. There has to be there,
There
you
has
know,
to be, yeah.
and that's how I got that support everywhere. And when you reach to the positions in the organization, again you are alone there, you know, in terms of, because many of them, they were not there. Maximum were I think if you look at the kind of any organization pictures, you'll find that only one lady is there, and then many men are handling various portfolio. Any pic,
Of
you know, of
course.
any LinkedIn profile, if you just look at it, hardly one woman is there, and maximum the other leaders are there. So the male leaders are there. I think their support is really important, and they gave us because I think they also helped us to prepare very well. They also helped me to what I can say, that more concise, more oriented, you know, and that helped me a lot. Many a times I became, because I forgot that I am a female, you know, though the what I can say, my decision making or the way I was handling the issues, or maybe working hard or preparing strategic plan, I never thought that how, because that thought doesn't come in the leadership mind,
So
you know, because
comfortable with the
yeah,
things.
so because how do he thinks, what he is expecting, you know, I never thought about that this is something different and my thoughts are different. I was trying to really prepare myself, work hard, more precisely, and how I can really the rather than competing, how can I collaborate with them, you know. So that helped me to have and build the competency and authenticity as a leader within the boardroom, and I think that helped very well,
Okay.
you know. So the again coming back to the question, 100% at home and 100% at office, they
So-
were really generous, and
so-
let me say you very
So
very proudly.
if I tweak the question,
Yes.
were less supportive?
No, it was not the fact. The reason is they were in my teams, and I was more into taking care of them, understanding their issues, you know. So more compassionate, more we can say that how I can have the humility to really take care of them, you know, rather than I was not that emotionally depend on I was always an independent kind of a person I have. So that's what my nature, and the
Yeah.
reason is my job was totally different, so I became different. I was not coming from the, I came from the floor. I was a teacher as an
Yeah,
assistant
of course.
professor, and from there then I started my journey. But then I was more focused. I was trying to understand how I can explore the more number of opportunities, and that helped me little differently than the support.
Your response is aligned, or there is a
Yeah,
twist to it?
almost aligned. Means I would say whatever I am today, a lot of it goes to my husband, because most of my educational goals have completed after I got married.
How is it?
So he never made me feel that you are going ahead of me or something like that. No, I think whatever I am today is because of his support. Apart from that, even my mom-in-law, she treated me like a daughter. So I had a lot of comfort where, you know, with kids being there, because sometimes, and let me be very frank about it, I am in guilt, especially with respect to my first child, my daughter, that I didn't give her enough time. I was that time working on the Amanora Mall project. So I used to go to Mumbai twice a week, and sometimes ended up living in Mumbai itself. So she would be hardly like 6 7 month old and all that. So I couldn't give enough time to her. But with my mom-in-law being there, I was very much confident that she's in good hands. So that kind of comfort, support was given to me. nobody made me feel guilty about all those things. Though now I feel that yes, I haven't given her
In
enough
hindsight,
time.
you could have
Yeah,
given a
I
little
compensated for that with my second child, where I give more time and all that. And then I can see the connect also. The connect becomes very different when you really spend time with your child. When it comes to you asking this question that whether men are more supportive or women are more supportive, I always felt that men supported me more than women
Okay.
comparatively. And maybe because that first experience I had where a woman rejected me. So I got into that phobia where I trusted men more than women.
I think
That could be
when you perform in organization, and if you are authentic with your hard work and your goals and your efforts which you're taking, automatically the manifestation starts, and everyone starts supporting you. It's not like men or women or
Yes.
female colleague or male colleague. I think once you are really good at your own the efforts, things starts falling in line.
Right.
And even if, and there is no, there is, I don't think so, there is any kind of
Gender
challenge,
bias.
no gender bias.
Yes.
They support you. Even your peon will support you. Oh no, she's
Ah.
taking effort, so I need to go and help her out.
Yeah.
I think that comes automatically. If your agenda is really clean, clear, and very concise, that what you want in your organization, and you're working for your organization, I think that is the best thing,
Right.
and that, I think that helps you a lot.
But if we keep, let's say, Sayalee Gankar, Kamaljeet Kaur, you have been a stature as of now. If we keep both of you aside and talk in general, in any of the environment, be it an environment wherein people who have already been educated, because all of this also comes with a little bit of education around how we treat a women. Of course, if there are minority belongings in terms of one female among there are 5-7 males, of course there'll be some sense of we try to give them more comfort as much as we can. But this question was more in a generic fashion, that if you look around, do you still think that irrespective of gender, women and man and women, they get equal amount of support from the same gender as well?
Yeah, they
Or
get
is
it.
it
As I've said, that if your intention is good, things happens. If your intention is maligned and if you're
Yeah.
playing around, no one will support you.
all right?
No one will support you, whatever you say,
All right.
right? Because though even if you put a mask on your face and you're smiling and behind that you're something,
There's something
one
else
day
going
it's
on.
going to fall.
Of
Right.
course.
So let it be very authentic, very transparent, right?
That's the
So
mantra
things
for all of
things
our
should be,
audience.
and then I think that's what is required,
Got it.
and if you are focused, I think then things are not important to you, so stay
Then you become a
focused.
saint out of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
entire journey.
So you
So,
have to be.
one very important aspect that you were touching upon, which was work-life balance. The entire world has been talking about it for almost last few years at least. And in fact, in my introduction also, I said so. I have not seen many women talking about a work-life balance issue. These are more so talked by the males around. I mean, that's my observation, could be here and there. But I've seen male people talking a lot about work-life balance. I've not seen many prominent women talking about it. But I'm sure you witnessed it more because being at a professional front and then going back home, taking care of your kids and household and stuff like that. Is it really a tricky thing to have a work-life balance for you people as well?
I think
Any one of you can
yeah.
go and
So I think because once you start becoming becoming someone as a leader, and when you're growing in organization as a female, I think how can you empower your family also, especially the kids.
yeah.
Second, which is very important, how you are going to prioritize your activities and how you integrate those also is very important. So one, if it is having that, and I think females are more good at multi-skilling.
Of course,
You
no
know,
doubt
so
about it.
even if I'm in kitchen, I know that what is happening in my processor is thinking.
Yeah.
So we know it very well at the back of my mind that today I'm going in the office and this is what I want to do it, right? We are more organized, right? And I think we try to be more perfectionist, so I always call it, it's like OCD,
Of course,
everything, even you feel like, no, these cups should not be like this, so
Yeah.
these
Should
should
be
be
like
like
this.
this.
Yeah.
Since from like but then I said, now I'm trying to figure it out that let me accept the things as they are, right? So I
For the
think
mental
women,
peace.
so the work-life balance in this whole process, the work became, or career became the priority along with the family. And then actually what happened, in the whole process, most of the women's, they never took care of themselves.
Absolutely.
What they like, what they would like to have, how do they would like to change themselves, so, and that kind of stuff, actually, rather than work-life balance, more of it, how you're going to enjoy your own life,
Yeah.
right? And I think that's really important. But females are really good at work-life balance. They know it very well. It's not about the equal hours, how much time you're spending for each task. It's more about how you really give the importance, what is urgency and what is important. And if you are able to handle it successfully at career and at the at family and at individual now, I think you are able to do that very well. And,
No, I
and
think
today's women, I'm telling you, I can see many, all, because I keep talking to people, I keep moving around. So today's generation is very smart. They know, they have realized what is important, what is not important, which area they can focus on, which task is not important. So they're able to outsource also very well,
true.
right? And I think that's the fun which is happening. And therefore, I think these questions, maybe after 5 years, those questions will be like, oh no,
Irrelevant.
how can these questions could be,
Yeah.
right? So I think things are changing, evolving in at the speed.
No, even
And,
I mean, my mother was a working woman, and
yes.
she used to work right from morning till evening. Of course, prepare food for us. We used to go to school and all of that, and she was occupied almost for 16 to 18 hours a day. And never ever I heard from her talking about these jargons called as work-life balance. It has come up in the last few years, and probably, as you rightly said, it may die down also because the smarter generation
The
coming
problem is, at work we think about home, and at home we think about work, right? Peter Drucker is said
True.
very well. He said, "What do you mean by work-life balance? It's not this concept itself
That's
is
not
wrong,
right. Yeah.
because your life is something different and your work is different. So when you are at work, give the
Think about
100%
work.
commitment, and when you're at home, I mean, that's what is required.
Yeah.
And I think, as you rightly said, even women at rural,
Hmm.
they also do it very
Yeah.
methodically, and they are more effective, they are more productive in terms of giving the efficiency and effectiveness.
Yeah.
I think that's the success of women. So
Oh, rightly said, ma'am. We have a different section now. We have been, like I said, we've been too nice about the things, the environment that you have been into. We will go to a more trickier section of the podcast, which will be, let's go without any diplomatic answers. Let's go
Okay.
absolutely honest from now on. So my first thought is being nice a disadvantage in the leadership position, especially for women? And I'm sure why I'm saying this, let me clarify before you try and attempt this answer. Uh, Women are known for being a little more nicer as compared to males. Males can be male to male, I'm saying. Male to male can be a little rude of a response. Females, in general, they are, calm. Their response is more subtle. It's more polished in a way. But many a times it may happen that when you are so too soft or too nice to someone, that can backfire as well. Has it been the case with either of you?
Yes, being nice is, I think, a better way of getting work done, because if you are rude, the person has an option to ignore you. So being rude doesn't work all the time. But sometimes, yes, there are times when you have to put your foot down and take a stand, when the person in front of you might consider you as a rude person. So, yeah, I have been a rude person quite a number of times.
But being nice, has it backfired as well?
Yeah, people misuse when you
Exactly.
are being nice. Many people misuse of my nicety, and sometimes I have to then invite the person to my office and have a conversation that, look, it's not headed in the right direction. If this continues, then this will be the repercussion. So you have to then work on it.
You have
So
to do a
sometimes,
balance in that sense.
balance it. Being nice is not the right thing to do always, though it is the first option which I always use. So I always, in Sam, Dam, Dand, Bhed, I always use Sam. If
Okay.
it doesn't work, then
You
Dam.
go by the order.
Yeah, then Dand, then Bhed. So I use all the four
True.
tactics. Some people are too tough to use Sam and all that. When you have
You
used
directly
it,
start from the reverse order in that
no,
case?
no. Then it's better that we avoid a conversation. Use some different tool like Bhed, where somebody else takes care of those
Correct.
kind of problems. So when you know that this particular person doesn't understand or is deliberately trying to ignore your signals, so you use some different strategy. So being nice is not the always best
Right.
strategy to operate on, but I would say that now I use that as my first strategy always, because I feel that we should always give that opportunity to the other person to go in the right direction rather than being rude or try. Like ma'am mentioned, you should not be showing your power that you are on a particular stature, that's why you are instructing. For me it was quite difficult, because when I shifted to education industry, all the people who were reporting to me were senior to me in terms of age, in sometimes in terms of qualification also, because they were engineer. The principal of engineering college was of course an engineer. So sometimes they used to use tricks of giving me some kind of scenario which was technical, thinking that I wouldn't understand. So but I considered myself as a management trainee getting a good stipend, so I would not sleep over the night, understand what exactly they are trying to present to me, and next day I used to be ready with my points, so that people shouldn't take you for granted that you don't know the technicalities of that particular thing. For me, because I shifted to a different industry, this was one problem. But in 6 months time they understood that no, she studies, she doesn't come to the discussion table without her proper study. So I always feel that you should always have that mindset of being a learner. Then things are your way. Like ma'am mentioned, hard work is still hard work for me.
Of course.
I cannot fake it. I don't know. Many people are able to fake it, and we can make it out that the person is faking it. But I never able to do that.
Yeah.
If I don't know, I will say I don't know. I will not say that, just making up some story and all that, which I see many people doing.
I'll come back to that point because I like one very interesting point. What you said is you have not come from an engineering background, and what you're doing right now is heading an institution at a level wherein, of course, engineers would also fail. Many would fail in that case. So I'll come back to that point, but if I may take your response also on the same point, ma'am.
Yeah.
Nice response. Has it backfired?
In my case, I'm always firm.
You don't look like that.
I'm very firm.
Okay.
I know what I'm talking about. I prepare myself. And second thing, I'm ready to learn from others. So nice is, most of the time we talk about kindness. And kindness is been seen as a weakness.
Of course.
So I think we need to really understand what do you mean by kindness. But then how do you get the things done from people? She said very nicely that people should not take you for granted. And for that, I think leader has to prepare a lot. Especially, as they said, that it should be authentic leadership. It means that you know what you're doing. You know if you don't able to do it and how you can take people along with you.
Yeah.
Right. So if it is that, then I think nice could be for the person. Being a nice to you is something different, and getting work done from you is something different.
Yeah.
And there, I think the role of leader comes more into very, I can say the very firm way, because you need to be a taskmaster. You need to reach to the targets and achievements what you are expecting. And for that, I think we need to understand the temperament of the people and teams, with the team members especially, people come from the different background, different experiences, and they have their own perception, their own belief system, right? My belief system is hard work. Someone's belief system could be smart work, right? So how can we really take care of that, and how can we really, and then that could be the nice thing,
True.
So I think definition of nice to me is something different. That how
No,
can
there has to be a balance between the two.
Yeah.
While the epicenter has to be making the work done, ensuring, because we are also reporting to someone.
Correct.
It could be anyone,
Yeah.
but or could be to ourselves as well. Sometimes we are reporting to ourselves also,
Yes.
that I had to achieve this,
Yeah.
and we have to ensure that this work has to be done, but at the same time with the team that we have around. So
Yeah.
that's the role of a leader, precisely is. Great. Have you ever chosen career over family? And maybe in a difficult scheme of things, in a situation, precisely.
Of course.
And
Yeah.
Of course. We got educated, we got empowered. Our mothers have told that be independent. They have
No.
your economic power, and then we need to have the career, and of course, that was
I
the
was talking
highest
more from a,
priority, of course. And then second, how can we forget the family? So that
course.
alignment is required to be done, because family first or work first, I think that balance is required to be done. You cannot say, and today you cannot remain at home, even
Of
today's
course.
generation. No one
Yeah.
will say that I want to be at home. No, I don't think so. Any girl child who has been learned BTech or maybe MBBS or doing something, she has her own experience. And that's why today's
have to.
generation is very, very clear about what they want, right? So I think one cannot be the option. We have to have the balance of it, so family and career. Sometimes it is because of the situation, right? You need to work hard, you need to earn money, then career becomes first, right? And in that case, then the family suffers. And most of the time you'll find that once the career is made, then the females, they take a break. They want to give the time to the family when the needs are there, and they again come back,
Of course.
right? So it means that they understand what, and that's why I have said that how can I give the priority to which task? If I'm able to understand, then the balance comes. If I don't understand priority, then the conflict comes, and then that conflict makes you more unhappy, volatile, or maybe disturbed, or not able to work in the organization or team. So try to understand what do you want, right? If the career is important, I've seen many of my friends, they have taken 1 year leave or 2 year leave when their kids were into 10th standard, right? And I think that's the way of
Their way of
everyone's.
working. Yeah.
So I think one has to really understand, because the priority gets changed, right? So today, if you look at it like the women's in politics, and if she's working into the international arena, then she cannot say that I need to be at home, right? Her bag must be ready in her bag,
Absolutely.
in her car all the time.
Yeah.
That one suitcase with all the needy things, and she's ready to fly at any time.
True.
So that kind of the changes are happening. So now, and that's what I said, maybe 2 years or 5 years down the line, these questions could be very irrelevant, because maybe the kid will say that, hey, why they are asking such a question? I'm on my own, right? And I'm going to, my tickets are booked, I have done it, and I'm going it.
Yeah.
And that's what it is happening today. So I think
it's a balance every time, or there have been instances when I was more focused or more. This question
No,
was
it's
more
not.
around-
It's not a balanced thing. Sometimes when your office needs you more, like accreditations and all that, we spend more time in the office. When sometimes somebody's sick at home, you take
Home needs
leave.
you more.
Once my husband met with an accident, so I took a full 15 days break, because it was a major accident and I thought I should be with him. So everybody was surprised that I've kept myself available for that, because I was very much disturbed. I felt that he needs me, and I couldn't see. He was. There were nurses, doctors round the clock with him, but still I couldn't leave him. So there are times when family becomes more of a priority.
I like the word when you said that full 15-day leave.
Yeah.
In today's context, and the people with whom I have got a chance to work over the last 10-15 years, I mean, taking leave is a very
Yeah, so
casual of an approach.
it's see, the thing is that at our level, what happens is when you are going for a leave, there are a lot of things. Can you imagine that recently when I had gone to Philadelphia, I must have signed around more than 500 checks.
Wow.
Why? Because
You're not there.
otherwise everything is getting
Yeah.
stuck for them.
Yeah.
So
A leader can't go on a leave for a long period at
yeah,
least.
right. So I know that it's not possible. So when you have taken that opportunity, I take it positively that they need me. I don't take it as a complaint that why I don't have my leave. So I must be having more than 90. Last time when I checked, it was 90 PL in my ba- leave balance and all that. Before that also, every year here they don't give encashment, but in my earlier organization every year I had the maximum encashment because was not even able to use my
I think
CL. Forget about PL.
This is more of like taking the ownership,
Yeah.
Yes.
I
right?
was about to say so.
Understanding that the responsibility.
Yeah.
See, it's a guilt that I am away from my the office.
Can you
Right.
repeat that towards the camera one
So
more time?
yeah, I think it's more of a sheer responsibility, because most of the time it happens like uh, if I'm away from my office, it means I'm doing a crime,
Yeah.
right? And it's a guilt.
True.
That's very rightly said. I worked for 6 years, multiplied by 30 days leave, and all are lapsed,
Yeah.
right? Earlier tenure, almost all my 15 days casual leaves lapsed. All my vacations lapsed. All my medical leaves lapsed. It's not proud moment. I'm not taking it, sharing
I
this
know.
because I'm proud that how many leaves
Yeah.
I'm.
And you're not advocating
It's
that do not take
no,
leaves
don't
as
do
well.
it. I'm not saying that. You please enjoy. But when work comes, I think work is worship,
Absolutely.
right? And that I think message which is given by our all maybe at the parents they give us. Okay, I still remember even my mother not feeling okay. Still you want to go the office. She's 86
Yeah.
years old, right? Yesterday only she said that, oh, you're going so far away. You're taking almost 1.5 hours to reach and come back. I said, that's fine. Once I sit in the car, it's my time.
Yeah.
So I keep talking to people, I keep doing something.
Yeah.
So work should be happiness.
True.
If you look at work as a compulsory kind of
Tick in the
a
box
profession, then you're not going. Then you will be always unhappy,
Yeah.
right? Then you will be always complaining. Then you will be doing something which is not ethical,
True.
right? Because you want to take someone's credit.
Yeah.
I think that's not the life, right? So you figure it out what you like the most.
True.
And that's what she said very nicely, that it's because of sheer responsibility that 15 days full time.
Full.
How can I be at home 50? Look at the words what she has uttered.
Emphasis was on full 15
Full
day
15
leave, yeah.
You cannot think of it. If I don't get the message, if I don't get the call, it feels that, oh, I'm not doing the work.
True.
Not people, they don't want me. It means that I'm not working. I think that's the restlessness, and that helps you to achieve the career growth.
True.
Not by taking someone else's credit or showing that I'm doing the great. No, not required. People and try to understand. This is my message to each of us who's sitting here. We feel that people, they don't understand when you're speaking lie, or maybe you're bluffing, you're hiding, it comes out, right? What may happen, whatever you do, whatever as I've said, the mask you keep
come off.
wrap, it will come off. How much time you will take and how many times you will try to say that I am this. No,
Yeah.
somewhere it comes out. So it's better have that authenticity
True.
in your each and every act, and that will be more satisfying rather than making bosses satisfied. Let them feel bad. She's working so hard, or he's
Yes.
working so hard. I should give her.
That should be.
And that should be your commitment to yourself.
Yeah.
And that's
not
why
to show anyone. of
don't
course.
prove to others. You prove yourself. You satisfy your needs. You satisfy your own satisfaction. Don't look around what people are doing. And if you do that, and that's what I think the message is: work hard, smart work. I don't. The people like the
Yes.
advise that, but I always feel that everyone could be student, teacher, faculty, staff, leaders. Everyone has to work hard. Look at the Tesla case study. I'm so fond of Elon Musk.
Yeah.
He's always alone. He doesn't have people around him because he doesn't want to get distracted. That's what I feel. Huh?
Yeah.
He may be having a
Like
different
theory.
aura and theory and his own leadership. But I think at the helm of affairs, you're always alone. And the reason is you need to be very focused.
Yeah.
You need to be very, very, very focused. And that, I think, is very important.
No, I read somewhere, ma'am, and I'm able to resonate with it. I read somewhere very recently which said that leaders are lonely most of the time.
Yes.
Because when they reach to a level, in fact, I'm not provocating or I'm not, I'm not going against or in the favor of anything, but in the last few years of Mahatma Gandhi, when he was living all alone, when India was getting independence, he was at one place. I mean, I don't think India has seen a leader as tall as Mahatma Gandhi in that space, but he was having his own loneliness in that period of time as well. So, quickly on that part. So, with all the good things that you've been talking about, but every leader has a moment where they almost break. With this, our next segment is the untold struggles, and there could be some stories around which I'm all ears to. So, to start with, the lowest professional moment that you may have witnessed in your life, and of course, you both will have a different answer to it for sure.
Yeah.
And you can take some time to think in case.
Right. So I will tell you why I'm in the education industry now. So I had given one interview with one very eminent company in Mumbai, and I cleared almost 6 rounds that time as a vice president corporate governance. That was the position. And in the last round, where the chairman was interviewing me through video conferencing in Mumbai, he was in UK that time. He ended up saying some very startling statement, saying that you have spent almost 10 years in the real estate and construction and all that. So nothing ethical happens there. So you wasted your 10 years of your career. And that day, I made up my mind that I will shift to a different industry. Believe me, I was really doing great in that industry. I was working on multiple projects, handling multiple teams. Means at any given time, I used to handle like 20 different companies where their group heads used to report to me. From there to a very different industry, it's education industry. I would also say that I'm lucky enough to get a lateral entry into the education industry. Madam would agree that when I did my PhD, my guide told me, why don't you shift to education industry? Your job here is too demanding. And I gave her my CV. So next day I got call from one management college for assistant professor. And the kind of salary they offered, I laughed and laughed. And then I said, this I give to my interns, okay, especially in the mall companies and all that. The interns from good like Knight Frank and all that, we give them very good stipend. So, and believe me, I'm still not at the salary which I used to get in my job, which I left almost 8 years back. So, but that day that was the lowest point of my career, and I took that decision that I will leave this industry. Whether right or wrong, I don't know. Sometimes I laugh at myself. Yeah, because now I am in a very, I used to always love teaching, being with the students and all that. And I did that as a part-time thing when I used to go as a visiting faculty, or people used to call me more like an HR. But now I'm full-time in this part of the world, and it's a beautiful world here. I feel quite satisfying because now I think I am living the life which I love. That was more of, career and all that. Here it's not career. It's satisfying.
Shaping the careers, ma'am.
Shaping the careers. Yes, that's a beautiful word. And I now feel that that time I was building buildings, but now I'm building lives, careers, and so true. Now I feel really. So whatever happens, you hit your lowest point, bottom, but then you come back again and find. Money is one secondary thing, but I'm very happy that I'm in an industry where I am able to create meaningful impact in many,
I'm
you
sure
know,
you're
yeah,
doing that, ma'am.
yeah, right. Because I feel each student is a customer, which they never used to feel in education industry, especially in our campus. So I have changed that mindset, because when I was in that industry, for me, every customer was customer. We
Of
used to
course.
give them very good treatment. So I said, you don't know, even if they are not buying the kind of service, you go to any real estate, sample flat and all that. Imagine the kind of shosha which we
You can't be
do.
suboptimal at all.
Here, there is no such thing.
That's
And that parent, student, they're trusting you with all their hard earned money so that you can actually change their lives. And you can actually do that.
true.
So I think we are in a noble profession, and I'm really thankful to God that that moment occurred in my life.
No, no.
Thank you.
I truly admire that part, because I have myself changed my domain. I was in IT sector, left all of that job, came back to education sector, and I've been doing the same. And I get a very peaceful sleep, is what I
Yes,
can say.
yes, yes.
Uh, of course, maybe the remuneration in terms of finances is not as competent as I was getting, let's say, a decade ago, but still that sense of satisfaction which we are giving back to the society is of course at the priority. It may look like a very shosha words that we are using, giving back to the society, but at the end of the day it is.
It
If
is
there are
true.
500 folks graduating from your college and of course getting into their careers, 500 families are being impacted, which is not a
Absolutely.
small thing.
Yes.
So sorry ma'am,
Yeah.
lowest professional moment.
I think in everyone's career, you have all these moments
Yeah.
where your ideas are failed, or maybe sometime you feel that your projects are failed.
Mm-hmm.
Sometime you'll feel that your progress is very slow.
Mm-hmm.
Many a time, or in when you do your own decision, take your decisions. Sometimes decisions also they
Of
fail.
course, we are human beings.
But one has to accept the accept those, and that's what unlearning to learn is very important. And how can we build the resilience,
Mhm.
right? That's very, very important. Most of the time, if you're stuck with that, it becomes very difficult. So
Attached to it.
you have to really move on. uh, there are many incidences where you feel like, no, that's what I've said, I would have done this way, would have been better. It's your perspective, because the more you get experiences, your approach towards the ideas or projects or approaches or strategies what you make in organization, they get changed. So I think that's fine. The high tide and low tide is always there. So how you ride it is very important.
True.
So try to take efforts in those way. The if
But
you
any
the,
specific moment that you can recall of was a real low? Because as a human being, we tend to, as you rightly mentioned,
yeah, the most of the time internal competition is there. You want to reach to the positions, you want to make few things in your way rather than others perspective.
and which you know is
And
right way.
so, and then you're just observing it that it's failing.
Yeah.
So that pinches your heart, but then that's fine.
Right.
Right? So I think it happens, and it's not like one or two stories. Many a time.
Many.
Many a time, when you want to make people disciplined, they don't want to be. When you want people to get the task done, they feel like, why she's asking us such questions? Why she's asking these documentation, why she's asking processes to find out.
Yeah.
So when you are becoming a leader and with the taskmaster, then I think these things happen.
Part and
People,
parcel.
yeah. So most of the time, so accept the things and move ahead. Rather than getting the tagged with that particular part of it. That's okay. So
Yeah.
that's why resilience and the how can you build your perspective, change your approaches. And one thing I always feel that as a leader, you need to have experimentation. You need to learn, though you need to learn very hard way, but still you have, because every time every fabric is different, every molecule is different, every thread is different. Still you need to be with the organization.
True.
It's not like only one thread you are having. You're having multiple threads coming with the different backgrounds, different ecosystem, education, egos, attitudes, right? So how are you going to build that? I think that's the fun which one has to learn, and do it with that passion. I think
With
that will
experiments,
help
ma'am,
us.
I think if as a leader you won't experiment, then who will?
Who will be? Absolutely.
Because the people who are working with you, they will ultimately seek your approval to do the experiment.
Absolutely. And most
So
of the
it'll be-
time, what happens, you want to make things in better way. It means change has come.
Yeah.
And when change comes, immediately the resistance for the change is there.
True.
Right? So one has to learn that very effectively and handle it also in a nice way.
A follow-up question, ma'am.
Yes.
And I may not need explanation on that, so you can be absolutely blunt on it. Did you ever feel like quitting?
No, never. Never. Actually, let me tell you very honestly. I said that why should I quit? I'll quit when I feel I want to quit, not because of the circumstances.
Yeah.
Never give up.
Wonderful.
That's what. Never do that. Never quit. See to it that you are there and you are really fighting for that thing, right? And that's what it should be.
But isn't there a thin line between quitting and feeling like quitting?
Yeah, feeling like quitting. Yes, many times
Many times it
I
happens.
feel
Why
like
should we are
quitting.
here?
Yeah,
That happens.
and in fact, I had, same organization. I had left them, after working for them almost 8 years back. I worked with them for 1 year as campus director, and I had left them. And when I joined back, that time, Chairman Sir gave me advice saying that whenever you feel like quitting, write a letter to me. Keep it with you for 3 days. If you still feel like giving it to me, give it to me.
Yeah.
And believe me, it is working so fine.
Yeah.
I write that letter and then I forget about it the next day because it's momentary.
True.
It doesn't go beyond a day. So I feel.
No, I think
feeling-
people.
yeah.
I think the both of us. If you feel that taking a leave itself is a crime, it means that you don't want to quit.
Absolutely.
So that's very important because.
No, but I like that idea, ma'am, and I want the audience to also know this. Whenever you feel like you want to resign because of the
Correct.
momentary
Yes.
things might come to you, as ma'am said, that you write a letter, keep it with you for 3 days, and then probably after 3 days, if you still feel like
Like
quitting,
quitting.
then submit
Oh.
it to your manager.
Yeah. And this
Most
is
of us
advice
will
from
never-
Dr. Ajeenkya Patil.
Oh.
All credit goes to him. So I would say I want to express my gratitude to all these wonderful people in my life who are such nice people, such spiritual
I'm sure.
people that who go. See, we are not related. I'm not even from the same, caste, creed, religion, or something like that. But the kind of support, acceptance I have received from people around me, from my bosses, from leaders, I would say. They are not bosses, they are leaders,
Mhm.
is commendable. And really, I think whatever I am today is because of the uh, comfort, the support which they have given to me.
Wonderful. Thank you, ma'am. One quick question, and then we move to the last section of today's podcast. While you both come from the education sector and you have seen it very close and very near in your professional career, one thing that you would love to change in higher education system, only one thing. I know you would like to change the entire education system if given a choice, but one thing, maybe to start with, ma'am.
Yeah. So values and mindset, technology, education,
coming.
those degrees will fall in place. But what India's kids, youth, they need the most is values and mindset. That's very essential for them.
And while I thought I'll not have a counter question, but it is such an interesting answer. How?
See, if you look at it, today's the economical changes which are happening, opportunities are growing. The youth has forgot to live the life. They're good at technology, they are good at information, they are good at various other things, but the values are the most important things which we need to really inculcate them, right? Because degrees, certifications, interdisciplinary education, every university across India is taking great amount of effort to build the tomorrow's workforce, right? Or human resource. Now human is called as a resource, right?
Yeah.
So that human element, the behavioral part of it, attitude, happiness, feelings, values, family bondings, respecting each other, taking care of others. I think that's very essential. In the whole, if you just start driving a car on a road, or if you sit in the car and just look at the behavior of the cars or the vehicles, you will find that everyone has a different sets of behavior. If- if you visualize that, that the scooter wala is there, then the cycle wala is there, then you have a car, you have a truck, and everyone is running towards the destination. But the approaches are so funny,
Different.
so stressful. So I think we need to take care of each other. We need to have the happiness, and I think those are very important things,
I'm
because
sure.
at the end of the day, you should not come and say that zindagi na mile dobara. है ना? So I think it should be right now, not later. Not
Actually, it
after
will not be
40,
dobara.
not after 50, not after 60. It should be right now. So how can we make everyone happy? How can we handhold each other? That compassionate behavior is very essential. If you look at it right now, the pollution is of thoughts. Can we control that thought pollution is very important.
Yeah.
And that pollution, if one has to be controlled, and that is the responsibility of our education system, because all parents at home, they are working, there are nuclear families,
Yeah.
there is no bonding. I think the time has to come that how can we build the bonding in everyone. And if it is there, then the technology, everything will fall in place. It's not going anywhere.
True.
It will be there, right? So you're
It'll become better only.
of course, you will get the Microsoft certification, you will get the jobs, you will get everything. But values are required to be taught by the teachers, by the family, and by the society to the next generation. If not, then it will be a chaos in everyone's life.
I
So
think
have the better.
this is one thing which is negatively evolving. The values, the moral values, they've gone. Yeah, I mean, we can talk about it, but
Yeah.
ultimately, someone we have
No,
to
look
actually
at
take up step.
the recently I was reading a wonderful experience of Japanese on the railway station. So they say that we respect everyone's space and peace,
Yeah.
and then silence. So even 1,000 people walking on the railway station, still there is pin drop silence. I think that's the value, that I respect you. I have to take care of you. It doesn't mean that I should hold her and say that be peaceful. No, no, no.
No.
We should really give that space, that respect, and I think that we should really make everyone happy around. I think that's what I
100%
feel.
agree on
Thank
that,
you.
ma'am. I think your response on the same, ma'am. One thing that you wish to change.
I would say be human. Because what is happening is that we have become machines. So we are sitting next to each other, but there is no connect. So we are digitally connected. Maybe I'm on her Facebook and this thing, but socially,
do not know.
emotionally, we are not connected.
True.
So I feel that connect is very, very important, and we have to evolve that in our society. And plus, for the students, I say that the way Modi ji is saying, made in India, I would say stay in India. Because if the talent drain which we are having right now, all good talented people are leaving India for whatever reasons. I would say if they stay in India and develop India, then India would become that superpower which we are thinking of. What is happening is that we are thinking that so and so country is superpower and all that. It is Indians only who have made them superpower. So how about staying in India and making India?
I remember, I mean, when I was in my school days, we used to write essays on brain drain. And it has been the highest in today's scenario when people are moving out. Maybe the international borders have gone a little diminished, and hence we do not consider it as a brain drain now, because we are going very easily from one country to the other, and we feel that everything is global village only. So, but yeah, I resonate with both the pointers, ma'am. With that, we move to the last section, and I think it is going to be the most interesting one, hopefully, with the answers that I'm expecting from your side. It's going to be a rapid fire one.
Okay.
So we will try. I will try that I do not seek explanations around it until and unless it is really intriguing from the answers that I receive from both of you. I will have quick set of few questions, and there will be most of them. There will be objective questions sort of thing. So we'll look forward to the answers in that fashion. Maybe we'll start, or rather we will not do one by one. I'll take the question for both of you, and then we move to the next one. So to start with, The first one, that is leader you admire, for personal life and professional life.
Vision and humility.
Okay.
That's very important to me.
Mhm.
So vision is required, and of course,
No,
humility.
here we are talking more about a person. If you can name someone,
But you need a person.
leader
Okay.
you admire.
In
Oh,
person,
so many of them.
In personal, of course,
Many
I'm sure
of
with,
them.
with
Jack
such a-
Welch was my one of my favorite leader.
Wonderful.
Is still.
Mhm.
Lee Iacocca,
Mhm.
again from the Ford, and then moving to the Chrysler. Akai Moito,
Mhm.
right? Then again Elon Musk, the recent one, which I am going and reading about him and all
Mhm.
that. Sushmita Sen,
Yeah.
right? The clarity of thoughts which she has, a wonderful lady. So I just go through because you asked me the name, so I'm
Of course,
trying
there
to
would be many,
sharing
and
all,
hence
and so
I thought if
yeah.
one person that has to be picked, both from a personal life and a professional life. Professional, I think you have named enough.
Yeah.
If someone from the personal life,
My father,
of course. I mean, daughters are meant to say that.
he is too good, and I learned many things from him.
Yeah.
And the hard work and the kind of efforts what he has, and the struggles in the life, and dealing with all type situations, because we love the father, and the family member, the first one comes your father, is because you've seen him,
Of course.
right? And you get immediately connected with the same kind of situations you're going through.
True.
Because the conditions remain the same.
Yes.
So I think this is one.
You see their struggles in
And,
front of your eyes.
yes, so
That also
at
is
personal
one.
life and the current, all the bosses, because I was very lucky enough to have good bosses,
You
leaders.
diplomatically said
Yes.
all. I wanted one, but
No, because everyone has helped you to grow your personality.
I'm
So you
sure.
cannot choose. It's really difficult to take one of them,
choosing one of the kids is a difficult.
But then I always admired Dr. Vishwanath Karad, the kind of efforts, again, the
He has
struggle,
been.
the hardship. Today, everything has been seen very nicely, but the kind of hardship and having very firm about what he wants to deliver for the society, it's phenomenal. And that helps lives together to make their own careers or perform better in organization. So he becomes the torch bearer for all of us, and for me to always, because I always feel if how he will think in this situation and how he will deal with that, I think he is the one.
Thank you, ma'am,
Yeah.
for you.
professional Oprah Winfrey, because I always
Adore her a
used
lot.
to
Yes.
adore her a lot. When it comes to my personal life, uh, of course, both my parents, I really adore them because they came with nothing to Pune, and now when I look at, means I don't have my father right now, but I know he is watching me, and he believed in me beyond limits. He never told me don't do this, don't do that. So thanks to them for believing in me.
So quickly, moving to the next. One word about male leadership.
Decisive.
Wonderful.
Empathy.
Empathy, coming from the male leadership.
Yes.
Okay. And
That's why we can thrive if when they are empathetic. I don't ask them to be giving us some extra space. Just treat us equal.
Wonderful. That's a wonderful thought. And when we swap it to the female leadership,
Resilient.
females are more resilient. Okay, you're saying because you're a female?
Not, I have experienced that.
Oh, wonderful.
I have read about that.
Wonderful.
And that I think that's really good.
Got it. Ma'am, for you?
No nonsense attitude. I think that's what takes them to the leadership position.
That's interesting. No nonsense attitude. All right. One habit that you want to drop, or maybe have dropped as well by now.
One habit.
Yeah. That you're having, or you still have, maybe. Because after a certain age, maybe your kids also start saying something to you that don't do this, don't do that, or maybe something around.
I was more, I can say that, aggressive.
Okay.
And still it comes, when it comes. So I try to control it.
And I'm not able to
I
relate
would
that word with you, ma'am.
be,
Maybe I've not seen you much.
No, aggressiveness, not in the behavior part of it,
Yeah.
the thought process.
That's good.
How I put the things across,
Hmm.
right? So that's more very important to me, that it should be very calm, and how I can be more assertive, while the dealing with the ideas, or maybe taking care of the teams and all that.
That's moving
yeah.
towards more of words of
And
peace
one more
and
thing
safety.
which I feel is very good. You asked me this question. Good. This is a good learning from me also. Overthinking.
So you were earlier an overthinker?
Still,
You're
She
still
just,
an
I want to
she
drop
just
it.
stole my word. I'm
So
full
much
of
of it,
anxiety.
like,
Yeah,
Is it?
the
yeah.
So one thing in common for
overthinking.
both of you is that
Yes,
both
yes.
of you are overthinker.
Well, there are a lot of things which are common
Oh, is
now. I
it?
can feel, yeah.
Oh, glad that
Yeah.
this platform brought you
Yes,
that way.
yes, right.
So both of you are overthinker still, and you
Yes,
wish to drop
Yes,
this.
I
yes.
wish to
And
drop that.
the
And I'm
second
just
thing,
working hard on it.
yeah, the
That how
second
can-
thing is perfectionism.
OCD.
So
I've
yeah,
also mentioned.
so
Oh yeah,
yeah,
it's
so
no, it's very difficult for me to get rid of it,
yeah.
and I love that. It's okay.
I am a Virgo, and
Acha.
we are like too much into all those things that actually we make others' life miserable. Yeah.
Sometimes, yes.
Yes, because even like when I come to my office, if my washroom is wet, I don't know. It actually
That's
triggers
Yeah,
me.
that's an OCD.
Yeah.
I can relate. My
Yeah.
mother, my wife, both of my mother is no more, but I've seen her. But that has culminated to us in a positive way. I also do not like things messy and being here and
Yes.
there. Yeah. So quickly, we just have few more. Coffee or confrontation?
Coffee first,
Okay.
confrontation if necessary.
So you want to negotiate over the things, discuss,
That's
put
better.
it at peace, and then
So I think most of the time, if you're transparent, then thing becomes very easy.
all right.
If you want to be being honest,
Mhm.
it becomes difficult because you want to. Then lots of questions keep coming. If the things are transparent, it becomes easy for uh, the whole team, or maybe whosoever in front of
Everyone is
you.
on the same page, maybe.
Yeah, so that's always better. So coffee is the best thing.
Wonderful. For you, ma'am.
Though I'm not a coffee person, but I would definitely like
Chai
to,
over.
yeah,
Over
tea
the
over,
chai,
yeah,
cup of
over
tea.
the tea
Chai
and
or
all that.
confrontation.
I'm
Yeah,
also
right.
not the coffee person,
Yeah,
absolutely.
but it is like,
over correct.
calling that person having a good conversation is something
And
which
if that does not work, then maybe sound to
confrontation.
down and down.
I would just, if you permit, can I tell a story here?
Yeah, please go ahead,
So when I had just joined, when I was their campus director, one student came to me, and what was happening was that he was not being given his admit card because his attendance was low. And but he came to me and he told me that I lost my father almost 9 months back, and I am working, and I paid the fees and all that. I'm prepared for the exam. I want to sit for the exam, but principal sir is not allowing. So I called up the principal. It was almost 4:30 in the evening. He said that, ma'am, we will talk over it. I am a bit busy. So maybe he wanted to ignore, and he said that if there are lower, means as per Pune University regulations, you cannot allow and all those kind of things. I said okay, and I said, but I want to meet you or speak to you on this particular topic. He said he will call me back. It was almost 6, no call. I again called him back. He had already left. I said, sir, I want to speak to you regarding that student. He said, madam, we had that conversation, not allowed. So I said, but I want you to allow him because it's a genuine case, and I don't want the student to, because his entire thing will change because he will get a job with the degree in hand. He's in the final year. And but it seemed that he was not in a mood to listen. So then I told sir, can you please take your car to one side and we should have a conversation right now. So he said, madam, if you are that keen, you allow on your own risk.
Okay.
I said, okay, then please ask somebody to release the admit card. So he said, you ask the student to come tomorrow, it will be given to him. The student gave the exams and all that. I didn't speak to the principal on that matter for till the time the results were out. That student passed.
Wow.
And then I again called principal and I told him, see, I understand your rules should be rules and what you were saying, but sometimes we have to look at things from a different perspective.
Yeah.
All Dronacharya may not get all Arjuns. There would be some Eklavyas in the system whom we have to leave on their own.
Absolutely.
Those Eklavyas also deserve to
Have a
get that
Dronacharya.
degree
Yeah.
certificate and all that. So using the same yardstick wouldn't work. We have to be very student centric. We have to be using different yardsticks for different type of students. So I understand in India it's difficult with the kind of numbers we handle. But if the day we change this mindset, a lot of things will change.
Absolutely.
And then I was so proud of that decision. I was taking a big risk, but I'm happy that I did that.
That's for a good cause.
Yeah.
as
So
much
that
as-
was the time when I had that confrontation because that coffee, tea, nothing was working.
But you tried coffee first.
Yes, I did. I did.
Wonderful. Title or impact?
Impact, of course.
Impact. All right. It's a straightforward one. Advice to all the young women.
Young women,
Yeah.
prepare,
Mhm.
work hard,
Mhm.
and
Don't take leaves.
don't take no, the leaves. Of course, take care of your family, take care of your kids, take care of your father,
course.
mother. You know, that's the priority because you are a single child now at home. So
Mostly yes.
yes. So in our cases, we had that ecosystem available. We had aunts, mamas, and all that. Now there is no support system available. So I think give the priority to the family. At the same time, when you are at work, give your 100%
Absolutely.
and prepare yourself to lead from front. Right. So leader is everywhere.
Yeah.
So provided you really build that capacity, competence to take care of everyone and be happy, enjoy the life. Life is beautiful. Don't have the overthinking the way I have done. Don't be so much stressed also. That's my advice. But prepare and work hard. Don't
Perfect.
forget that.
Perfect. One from your side now.
Believe in yourself. You are good enough. The world is there to always tell you that you are not good enough, but you should never say that to yourself. I say this to all the girls, especially in my connect, that it is other people's job to demean you or to talk bad about you. Why you are doing other people's job
Right.
by saying that I'm not good enough and all that. And once you start, you will figure it out. So, and at the end of the day, or end of your life, it is more important to be a person who has lived a life well rather than a person who has more money and all that. But nobody asks you a bank balance. Do you know any person who on whose obituary the wealth is written?
Nothing.
Nobody.
Yeah.
But they always write a loving father and those kind of things. So be that adjectives. So you should have your bucket with those adjectives, what you mean in other people's life, rather than
Being
going for
artificial.
a materialistic life and all that. That is very important.
Yeah.
So don't run after money. It will come your way. If you go and create an impactful life, everything will be your way. And I always say this to the girls, young girls, that be like the Tanishq jewel. Okay. So if you go to buy a Tanishq jewel, they will not allow you to touch it. They will first look at you whether you
is it?
deserve. Yeah. Whereas if you go to, do you know there's a Tulsi Bagh and all that? So there you have those cards where there are a lot of artificial gels. People touch it, keep it back, and all
Try
that.
it as well.
Right. So don't be that jewel. You be the Tanishq jewel. The day you carry yourself as one Tanishq jewel, everybody will start looking at you respectfully. That is very, very important. And it is in our hands.
Yeah.
When we complain about, other people not treating us correctly. So sometimes I feel that somewhere we haven't corrected us, means we haven't treated ourselves correctly. Then only those things happen. Never in my life I had those kind of incidents, experiences, because I never felt that way for myself. So I think somewhere when we complain about others not treating us right, so somewhere we only level take our levels down, then those things happen. So
Got it.
it's a very friendly advice to all the girls here is everything is in your own hand.
Wonderful. No, very, very insightful. In fact, that brings me to my last and connected question to the answer that you've just mentioned. One advice to the young men who are working under women leaders, and could be very transparent from both of you.
Respect leadership regardless of gender.
Okay.
Don't have that biasness. Most of the time, you will feel that um, the superwomen are not been accepted by the leaders.
Of course.
They look them as a competitors.
Yeah.
So don't do that.
Egoistic approach
Yeah.
comes
So
in.
don't do that. So respect it and accept it. Both respect and accept that she also worked hard to come to that level.
Of course.
It's not like
much
she
harder,
is.
in fact. Much
Absolutely,
harder,
she
yeah.
is. So don't say only in Sanskrit that Nari is Nari Pujete,
Hmm.
you know, all that words and all that. Or
Mhm.
we respect Durga.
Yeah.
You mean it
True.
when you say that, right? So I think everyone works very hard. We respect male, so males should also respect women.
True.
And that should be at the core of helm of all the affairs, wherever she is, whatever she does. It's not only boardroom,
Yeah.
could be anyway.
Absolutely.
Maybe she's working on Thela, it means she's working, she's getting that respect.
Yeah.
And that respect has to be given by all males,
Yeah.
in spite or despite of their ages.
And I like the point that why do we actually discriminate even by paying the regard? Why do we discriminate in terms of gender? If we have to give it to a man, or maybe if we are giving to men, it has to be given
Equity
to a
has
woman.
to be
Yeah,
there.
It has to
It
be
has
there
to
on
be
that
there.
part. Got
I
it.
think the government is making all those rules and norms. It will come.
Will come.
It
Will
will
come
come.
till the time we are here.
And they accepted the fact that they work hard. I think that's the moment where
True.
it is. So
True. True.
let's see.
One advice from your side, ma'am.
Same, treat us like equal. So we
Mhm.
don't want some extra
Benefits.
benefits or
Or the
privilege and all
privileges.
that. We are ready. Means I would like to share this that our HR head is on maternity leave, and can you believe it that she is on the job? Means
Okay.
though she is working from home, but I can see that she is going extra mile to prove that
Really?
she is there. So why?
Why is she
that,
required to prove? In
yeah,
fact?
right.
Yeah.
But the thing is that these days women, no, but I don't think that she's trying to prove herself. She is knowing her responsibility that she is needed. It's crucial time because increments were to happen and all that. So she knows her importance, and despite all the things, and as a women leader, it is my duty to support her. So similarly, all men should also support the way they would have supported their own daughters or sisters.
Yeah.
So I feel that just consider us as your family member.
Absolutely.
So the day you think that this is a bigger family, because when we go to work, we actually spend our active time of the day with all these
The working
people.
people,
So I feel that's our first family. Second family is at home because we go only for lodging and boarding at home, right? So for me, both are family. You
Yeah.
know, my office family and this family, and sometimes we even mix both the families also. So it is very important that they should treat us like equal, treat us like family member.
Wonderful, ma'am. It was actually very interesting for me to learn a lot from the two of the stalwarts, whom not only the city of Pune, but there are people around who know you, who have been working with you. No matter what, I mean, this is a society. There will be people who will be, let's say, a little on the not so good side, would be on the good side, but still they will have to accept one point, which is that you have been doing wonderfully great in your own professions, and you have been setting up an example which is there going to be for the next generation and the generations to come as well. So yeah, thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
here.
Thank you. We
Thank you.
also learned a lot from your
No.
conversation.
I think
Thank
that was
That's
you.
your
more of
courtesy, ma'am.
introspection when you were asking the questions, you know.
Yes, yes.
So good.
Thank you
Yes,
so much,
yes.
ma'am.
Time. Thank you so very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, entire technical team.
Thank you. Leadership is often explained with strategy, performance, and results. But today, we saw something deeper: courage, doubt, persistence, and belief. These stories remind us that leadership is not about gender, it is about character. And the truth is, they didn't get lucky. Look at them, they led. For every young girl watching this today, remember that the women sitting here were once exactly where you are. The difference is, they didn't wait for permission, they chose leadership.